have a regular babysitter. She's babysat the girls for a couple of years. She was recommended.
I have had babysitters in the past, but they've usually been very close. They've been relatives or friends of the family, so the children are very familiar with those people already.
If you want a babysitter for your children, it's a mistake to wait till the very last night you're going out. You know, you don't want to be ringing round half an hour before you have to be somewhere, because that way you get the wrong person and make the wrong decision. So if you possibly can, it's better to plan ahead. You know, think a couple of weeks in advance when you know you're going to need a babysitter.
We're very lucky because we've got parents that live close by, so we don't actually employ any babysitters. We sort of get free babysitting, really.
Mum and mum-in-law are good babysitting partners, really. Friends, I've got quite a good friend, sister, generally parents and family.
You give somebody a few hours, you know, then they owe you a few hours, and it can work really well if you've got a few people. It's difficult if you don't have friends with children the same age or living close to you, but it can be ideal if you can get maybe say 5 to 10 people, because if you've got too few, it's never going to work out the night you need it, you know, or if you get too many, it gets, you know, really quite complicated to organise. But it can really be a good way and save you money, because, you know, babysitting is quite expensive too.
You're leaving somebody with your child and you want to make sure that they're safe, as well as, you know, they have fun.
When you're using somebody you don't know, you do have to be a little bit careful. It's important to, again, prepare in advance. You know, look at as many people as you possibly can, but ask them questions. You know, have they looked after a child this age? What would they do, you know, in any particular emergency if a situation crops up? And take up references.
I use a friend's daughter who is 17.
I think younger children, they look up to older children usually, so they're quite excited about having the babysitter around.
Over 16 is probably better if you can manage it. But even then, it's much more about maturity. You know, will this young person know what to do in an emergency? If you feel that somebody isn't right, or your child feels they're not right, then don't go with that person. Look again. If at all possible, if your babysitter can arrive a little bit early, it makes it less stressful. You know, just if you can go over the things you want to happen, what time your child's meant to go to bed, if they've got homework to do, all of that. It's best to try and think of absolutely everything. I mean, even if it seems a bit silly, put everything down in writing. You know, a list on the fridge, you know, a number where they can contact you, which neighbour to go to in an emergency. Then you'll feel more relaxed when you go out. You know, if you're rushing out at the very last minute and you haven't got time to do any of that, you tend to then feel a bit anxious and flustered throughout the evening. Sometimes traffic or, you know, circumstances will mean that you're late, but phone if you're going to be late, because, you know, the babysitter has also got to get home, may also be, you know, thinking about the time or a train or whatever. So do try to stick to exactly what you said.